Hi guys, so today we are going to be looking at this question here that is based on probability. So we have 8.1 here that reads as follows. It says that a bag contains 3 blue marbles and 2 red marbles. A marble is taken from the bag. The color is recorded and the marble is put aside, meaning that after we have taken out the marble, we don't replace it back to the bag. So you can see that from the get-go that this is a case of without replacement. So now it further says that a second marble is taken from the bag, the color is recorded and then put aside. So we can see that this is a question of what? Of without replacement. So 8.1.1, it says that draw a tree diagram to present the information above. Show the probabilities associated with each branch as well as the possible outcomes. So now we have 8.1.1. We are instructed that we should draw a tree diagram. Right, so we have three marbles here, and then we have 2 red marbles here. And then another thing that we can see that it is that these happens 2 times. So a ball is taken at first try, and then a color is recorded, and then again the same process happened, but then these only happens twice. So now let's draw our tree diagram so that we have the possibility of selecting either a blue ball or a red ball. Right, so what is the probability of selecting a red ball? The probability of selecting a red ball in this instance is 2 over 5, because in total we have 5 balls in total. So now the probability of selecting a blue ball, what is the probability of selecting a blue ball? Then this is going to be 3 over 5. So this is the probability of selecting a blue ball. But then remember, this doesn't happen only once, it happens again. So let's take for instance now the first ball was red, and then if the first ball was red, then it was observed, then we can also still have a probability of getting a red ball and also a probability of getting a blue ball as well for our second try. So we have a red ball here, we have a blue ball here. But then now what's going to happen here? Remember, we only have 2 red balls. So if we had 2 red balls and then the first ball here that we have chosen was red. If the first ball that we have chosen was red, how many red balls are we now left with in the bag? We are only left with 1 red ball. So this makes it 1 over 4. Now remember, this is going to be 1 over 4. Why 1 over 4? Because now remember this part here. After the ball color has been observed, what happens? We put the ball aside. We no longer replace the ball or put the ball inside the bag. So we are left with 4 balls in total. But then how many red balls are we left with? It's only 1. Same as here. Remember, the first ball in this case was red. So if the first ball was red, then what is the probability of getting a blue ball? Remember, we only took a red ball and then never put it back inside the bag. So that leaves us still with what? We're still with 3 balls. Over how many balls in total? Out of 4 balls in total. So now, this is one of the scenarios that we can have. But then let's take now, for instance, the first ball was blue. The first ball that was selected was blue. We know that the probability of selecting a blue ball first was 3 over 5. Now, let's take now the first ball was blue. Then we still have a probability of selecting a red ball and a blue ball for our second try. So we are going to have this as a red ball, and then we still have a blue ball here. Now, what is the probability of now selecting a red ball during our second try if the first ball was blue? This gives us 2 over 4. Why 2 over 4? Because remember, we are still left with 2 red balls inside the bag. Then out of 4 balls which are in total, then now we now come to this. What is the probability of now selecting a blue ball if the blue ball was selected at the first try? So in this case, we are going to have how much? We are going to have 2 over 4. Remember, why 2 over 4 in this instance? Remember, we had 3 blue balls, and then at first we observed the color that the first ball was blue, and then it means that after observing the color, remember, we no longer put the ball inside the bag again, and then we are now left with 2 balls out of 4 balls in total. So this is how we put the probabilities which are associated with each and every branch. Then now let's come to this case of what? Of outcomes. Then how do we show our outcomes? Our possible outcomes, it is that it's either the first ball can be red and the second ball can be also red, or the red ball can be the first ball and the second ball here in this case can be a blue ball. And then the other outcome from this part here, it is that the first ball is blue, then a red ball. Then the last branch here, it is that the outcome here, it will be the first ball here, it is blue, and then the second ball here, it is also blue. So this is how we are going to accumulate all these 3 marks. So now let's now move on to the next question here. It says that determine the probability of taking a red marble, then taking a blue marble in that order. It says that first taking a red marble, then what? Then taking what? A blue marble. So 8.1.2. It says that red first, then a blue marble. So what's that? Remember, this is this part here, red first and then blue after. So it is this outcome here. So how do we actually get this outcome? Red first and then blue afterwards. Then remember to get these probabilities since we are moving across. So if we are moving across like this, it's red first, then blue first. Then to get the probability of this outcome here, we should multiply by the probabilities that are on the branches here. So in this case, we are going to have, we know that we are looking for the probability of selecting red and then blue. So how do we actually get this? We are going to say that this is 2 over 5 multiplied by 3 over 4. Right, so this is how, so when we are looking for the probabilities, and then we are moving across from the left to the right, we should multiply in order to get that probability. So now, or the probability of that particular outcome that we are looking for. So now in this case here, we have 2 over 5 times 3 over 4. So that, what will this give us? This is going to give us 6 over 20. And then we know that 6 over 20, that when we simplify 6 over 20, this is going to give us 3 over 10. Then remember, since this is probability, we can just leave our answer as a fraction. As long as it's simplified, then everything is going to be okay. So this is how we actually answer our questions that are based on the tree diagram.